With a WrestleMania return possibly on the horizon and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. While he was set to perform for New Japan this weekend, it seems Jeff Cobb will not be there as the company released this statement. Cobb, who was scheduled to appear on NJPW Tamashii events on November 11th in Christchurch, New Zealand and November 13th in Sydney, Australia, will unfortunately be unable to appear due to personal reasons. We apologize to fans who were looking forward to seeing Cobb wrestle and appreciate your understanding. Breaking down why former world champion Nick Aldis was suspended from the promotion, NWA owner Billy Corgan told Busted Open Radio, "Nick Aldis and I entered into a business relationship 5 years ago where we bet on one another. That proved to be a good bet. He's been the highest paid talent in the NWA the entire time, without question. He knows that. He's had a lot of say, not only over the company, but also with how he was booked. That's transparent. Why is a man who a week ago emailed us to say, 'Thanks for everything you've done, I'm going to kind of move on'? Cool. He gave his notice. Privately, we didn't do anything. Did we retaliate or leak some rumor? No, we didn't say anything. We have shows booked. Nick is on the card. He's doing interviews for the pay-per-view. Why is the guy who is so disgruntled doing interviews? We're in business, right?" A couple of days ago, he does a video where he says, "I'm opting out of my contract." He does it publicly. I wouldn't do business that way, but it's his choice. I didn't like it, but okay, he's leaving in 55 days. Do your business and go out the door. Hopefully, we'll do business down the road. Then he starts blasting the product. I want to remind everybody, everything that he said, I've been hearing that stuff for years. It's not like I heard it and got sensitive. Why in a pay-per-view week with a talent who is leaving the company does he decide to start blasting me and the product 55 days before he's out and he can do whatever he wants to do? Why does he have to try to bury the locker room and the product? Again, I've heard all of this stuff privately for years. These are not new criticisms. He and I have battled about the product for years, and he's helped make the product better with those battles. This is not a sensitive reactionary thing. How do I, as the leader of this company, allow a key talent, the most highly visible talent in the company, up until he opens his mouth and tells people he's leaving, blast the company? He's still under contract and being paid. We don't invite him. He's still being paid. We didn't take his money. I can't have a guy like that show up, because what message does that send to the locker room? There are a lot of people in the locker room not happy about this. They have to do their job. Why is the focus not on Matt Cardona, Tyrus, Trevor Murdoch, Camille, Kylan King, or Chelsea Green? The focus is on Nick Aldis, who is not on the show anymore. It's not an animosity, it's just, why are we doing this? Sticking with the potential departure of Nick Aldis from the NWA, Matt Cardona had this to say about it with TJR Wrestling. "I don't know Nick very well. We wrestled before and I felt we had great chemistry in the ring. I think he's a total pro. I think he looks like $1 million. He talks like $1 million. He was the face of the NWA for a long time and he did a hell of a job, and if he's leaving, I mean, see you later. You know, it doesn't really bother me. I didn't come to the NWA to steal anybody's spot. I came to create my own spot. So, you know, Nick did a lot of work for NWA, a lot of great work for NWA. You know, it sucks that he's leaving, but I know he will do great whatever he does next, but it doesn't really affect me personally or professionally." Touching on potentially ruining his relationship with WWE, former ECW champion Raven told WrestleFest, "I would have liked to have been world champion in New York. But you know, that's a hell of a lot of politics. A lot of the heat's my fault because I had to be the smartest guy in the room, even if I wasn't. I had to act like I was, so I burned my bridges. I knew it back then, but couldn't help it." Touching on his pitch for an exploding barbed wire death match in WWE, MLW owner Court Bauer told the Insiders, "I wanted to do a death match, an exploding death match in WWE. They were trying different things at this time. There's a time when it was like, let's try and rewatch ECW, let's try different stuff. So I showed Vince an Onita death match, and he said, yeah, let's do it. And from there, they said, okay, get with Kevin Dunn and his team, and let's get to work on it. I wasn't the lead writer. I would just suggest to one of the writers in the room. It's a win for me. Vince liked an idea. Now it's on someone else's plate. So we'll circle back, and that's the lead writer's job to kind of communicate with KD and his team on whatever that project is. So Alex Greenfield is the head writer of SmackDown at the time. He tries to keep in contact with KD's team. He's not getting the clear answers. It seems very vague. And he's like, hey, we get pictures from our mock-ups. What do you need from our end? Do you need anything? Here's the video. And just, it's very quiet. And then about 14 days out, we finally see the first photos of this thing being built. It's like, oh, that's not an exploding death match. It was supposed to be Undertaker in one of these things, I think. And it turns out it's what you would see is this thing out of Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom or something. It's an action place that comes to life. And I guess in some ways for WWE, it is impressive what the structure did end up being. From a match point of view, it was very brutal because there was no give on that bamboo. And then giving through the wellness process, and all these people failed some tests with elevated enzymes, liver issues, and what was once a match with Taker versus, I think, the Great Khali ended up being with Big Show, who, poor guy, just didn't have any prep time to lay this out. He wasn't given a match where you could do much in it, and this match did not feel good in that kind of setting. So it was one of those things where it was a spectacle, and maybe it's like, you know, Chamber of Horrors style thing. And I remember Dusty just watching this and shaking his head and saying, oh baby, long night. And yeah, it was a rough night. I feel for all the parties involved, but that was originally supposed to be an exploding death match, and you know, they changed it. I don't know if Kevin just felt wasn't feasible. We never got an answer why they took the creative from Exploding Deathmatch to Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom playset, but it happened, and you know, I think Greenfield still to this day is baffled by what happened there. But I can also see doing that indoors, doing a death match with those kinds of pyro qualities could be problematic. But we never got an answer. I would assume it had something to do with that, but I don't know. With Austin Theory recently coming up short when cashing in his Money in the Bank contract for the US title on Raw, Steve Carrier reported that Ringside News asked around about Austin Theory losing his Money in the Bank briefcase. We were told that Theory is better off today than he has been since Vince retired, and he's not written off. He's right in the middle of the US title picture. Theory would also break his silence on Twitter, writing, "I'll never stop, and that's all day." As he recently called out JBL's bullying and induction into the WWE Hall of Fame, Ric Flair explained why on his To Be The Man podcast. I've seen it all. I get so tired of people, you know, fans, marks, whatever they are, whatever, in all due respect to them, but they don't have an opinion if they're not there. To me, I'm never going to get off the fact that wrestling is a fraternity. It should be a brotherhood, respect for everybody, and there's no time for anybody to cause anybody personal embarrassment or hardship in our business. There is no place for it. We all know the story of Bradshaw. It's brutal, but he's rewarded with a Hall of Fame. It's their company. They do what they want to do. But what about the 3 or 4 guys I've seen meltdown personally, meltdown and cry? They were so humiliated. I didn't have a falling out. I'm making a personal observation. He's always nice to me. Everybody could take a rib, but outright bullying a guy where he feels like it's not healthy. It doesn't do anybody good. He's never done anything to me. I guess I'm lucky, but I mean, I wouldn't tolerate it if he did. And obviously Joey Styles did neither from what I've been told. So, you know, it just got to be cut off somewhere. But I've seen people just cry over humiliation, and we are supposed to be a brotherhood. On his Oh You Didn't Know podcast, Road Dogg talked about his recent conversation with Big E, who is recovering from his neck injury. I was just texting with Big E, he's doing well. He was talking about how blessed he is. I hadn't seen him in a while, I hadn't heard from him. I was thinking about friends and family today for some reason and saw his number and thought, I'm gonna text Big E right now. He said he's blessed and doing great. Road Dogg would also mention his suggestion for E to win the big one. When I wrote SmackDown, I wanted him to be the champion. I wanted him to be the champion of SmackDown. I actually pitched, and I've said this before, I actually pitched Big E Mania, and Kofi got the nod because of his time and service, for lack of a better word or phrase. Kofi had been there, and look, it worked. Maybe better than it would have with Big E. Only time will tell if and when he comes back and they put the title on him, because he can cut great promos. He's a great guy. He's always in great spirits. Just an honor to be able to call him my friend. With WrestleMania 39 taking place next year, it seems John Cena could be there for an appearance, as Ringside News reported. The road to WrestleMania is starting soon, and John Cena is a part of the conversation. We've been able to confirm that Cena has spoken to Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan about doing something at WrestleMania in SoFi Stadium. It would be added that Cena has spoken to WWE about a WrestleMania appearance. Also, we were told that Cena has made it clear he does not consider performing for WWE as being disloyal to Vince. From what Cena says, McMahon encouraged Cena to help out any chance Cena has. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.